Good morning, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here, and it is Friday, and have we got some amazing deals for you. Yes, Zur is back. He's in the tower. He's got some amazing deals brought to you by, of course, the masters of all marketing in video games, the Corpus. Now, just the usual reminders. First, how do you know if Zur's in the tower? Purple mark by the stairs. You see that, you know Zur is there. And second, this is Destiny 1. This is the awesome tower from Destiny 1, which means Zur is only available for 48 hours. This is important. 48 hours. He arrives on Friday at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he departs on Sunday, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is New York time. He does not stay until reset like he does in Destiny 2. This is important, okay? And also, the reset in Destiny 1 is on Tuesdays at 5 a.m., okay? It's different. It's earlier with Destiny 1. Anyway, I also have a demanding, attention-seeking cat in my pocket. Not in my pocket, on my lap, all right? Anyway, we are heading to the left. If I can just use a controller with a cat. We're heading towards the speaker. This is the route you take when the beginning of Destiny 2. You then get to go over here, which was really cool. But you are heading... Minnie, careful. Careful, Minnie. He's right over here. That's cool. That's very cool. That's also very cool gear. Anyway. Right over here. So he's got some really good stuff. Not amazing stuff. Nothing that really stands out as phenomenal, but he's got some good stuff. I mean, no Zalo Supercell, no Red Death. Those are weapons that you absolutely have to have. But he's got, for example, the Mida Multi-tool and the Arctic Survivalist. Now, again, as always, I have 3 levels of exoticness. You have the exotic, which is just the real exotic. Then there's just exotic. You're like, okay, that kind of makes sense. And then you have the, why the hell isn't this just a legendary? So first off, Mida Multi-tool and Arctic Survivalist is one of those really kind of, where you're like, why the hell is this an exotic? Okay? And I think it's a pretty early exotic, so maybe that's why. So they weren't really like stretching the limits when it comes to exotics, but I'm only a fan of, so first off, you're getting Arctic Survivalist. This is Arctic Survivalist. Okay, it's pretty cool. All right, it's pretty cool. I'm only a fan of the Mida Multi-tool because I like the rate of fire and impact. This is the weapon that you carry. It makes you go faster. So, like I said, it really, third eye, radar stays active. That really is only good in Crucible. Like, you take it or leave it. You got lightweight, and then the Mida Multi-tool. The weapon boosts move speed and fires on a hair trigger. That's it. So please comment down below. Let me know if I'm being unfair to the Mida. I like the Mida. Don't get me wrong, and I even have it equipped right now. I like the Mida, but I like it because I like the rate of fire and the impact rate. Because some scout rifles to me fire ridiculously slow, and I'm not a big fan of weapons that are like low, ridiculously low impact, ridiculously high fire rate. I like those like mid-tiers. This is basically in the middle. We have a rate of fire and impact that just feels good. Okay, it's got a nice impact, nice sound. I like the Mida because of that. But do I think it should be an exotic? What do you think, Minnie? Yeah, no, she's just. She's in an agreeable mood, so she would think, yeah. I'm not, like I said, it's always good to pick up all the weapons simply because it gives you grimoire score, blueprints, and all that. So I always recommend you pick up everything, but when it really comes down to it, the Mida really is kind of like, why the hell isn't this an exotic? Now, I mean, why the hell isn't this a legendary, kind of low-tier exotic? Okay, next we have the Nemesis Star and Silver Bullet. Honestly, I'll say this. Most heavy to me feel kind of meh when it comes to exoticness. I mean, even the Galahorn, when you I mean, the Sleeper Simulant is pretty cool, but even the Galahorn, you have some pretty powerful legendary rocket launchers. So, I mean, for me, a rocket launcher is great if it's just got tracking and cluster bombs. So the Nemesis Star Isn't this the one that's just the fancy? All right. On trigger pull, this weapon's initial burst has a higher rate of fire. Oh yeah, I call this the Curios regime if it was a machine gun. When holding down the trigger, range and accuracy increase as rate of fire decreases. Deals grant bonus grenade energy. This is kind of mid-tier because you get the bonus energy, grenade energy, but it's one of those, okay, I get it, it's exotic, but it doesn't give me the wow factor of something impressive, like Sleeper Simulant or my Hunger of Crota rocket launcher that's a legendary. I said there are some exotics that are just letdowns. And I feel like a lot of the heavy exotics are major letdowns. Comment down below. Let me know, are there any exotic heavy that I'm being unfair to? I mean, Sleeper Simulant's a cool one. Gjallarhorn is cool, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I would choose my Hunger of Crota over Gjallarhorn at this point, simply because I would rather free up a legendary exotic slot for something else when this thing has tracking and cluster bombs. Okay? So comment down below, am I being unfair to exotic heavies? Okay, next we have the Legacy Engram, which I've said this before, really not worth it. If you have, an excess of strange coins, go right ahead, but you're probably going to get a year 1. You might get lucky and get a year 1 that unlocks the year 2 as well. I've never had that happen to me personally, but I've heard it does happen. We also have the Hawk Moon. Now, I know a lot of people like the Hawk Moon. I personally am not a big fan of the Hawk Moon. I'm more of a Ace of Spades, but I get it, especially if you're a Warlock or a Titan and you can't use Ace of Spades in Destiny, then you have to go with yeah. The cat is sitting on top of the controller, which is... Anyway, Luck in the Chamber. Oh, this is that one. Okay, so Hawk Moon has Luck in the Chamber. 1 random bullet in the magazine causes considerable bonus damage. And then you have Holding Aces. 2 more random bullets in your magazine deal considerable bonus damage. So basically, 3 bullets deal considerable bonus damage. I usually raise the magazine to 12 to make the math easier. So 3 bullets do considerable bonus damage out of 12. That's 25%. Yeah, to me, it doesn't feel exotic enough. I know a lot of people like the Hawk Moon, but I'm not a big fan of it because it's just, you might randomly get a bullet that will do bonus considerable damage. Yay! Whereas with the Ace of Spades, you are guaranteed what the perk is. You know that every time you get a precision shot, you will move 1 bullet from your reserves to your magazine. So, like I said, comment down below, tell me how I'm wrong about the Hawk Moon. As I said, I'm not really a big fan of it, simply because I like more guaranteed certain perks, and I like things that are more shiny, so to speak. Not in the literal sense, but just impressive when it comes to DPS. I understand, I think Destiny 2 now has shiny weapons, which makes me think Pokemon. Apparently, it just feels like, I don't know, I heard people talking about them. They're like, now you can get shinies. And I'm sitting there thinking, Pokemon cards? Just saying, it just seems kind of odd. Anyway, let's look at the exotic gear. So you have the Twilight Garrison for the Titans, which looks pretty cool. Press double B while airborne to evade. Okay, now that's ridiculously cool. All right, I like that. I mean, just when you thought Titans couldn't be more mobile than Hunters, you give them evade. The one thing when I play Destiny 1 that I miss from Destiny 2, the primary thing I miss, other than like fast travel, so you don't have to constantly go into orbit. No, I actually don't miss the weapon setup. I actually like, because it makes it more challenging to have the way the weapons are set up in Destiny 1. So it's actually more challenging that way. You got to be more creative because you have those limitations. What I do miss also is the Hunter's Evade in Destiny 2. I absolutely love that, especially when you have it reload for you. So you just, switch to your rocket launcher and it easily reloads them. Sometimes reloading just takes forever. So I like the evade. I also just like the evade even without the reloading. So That's pretty cool. I wonder what the evade's like for the Titan. I do have a Titan. Maybe I should make sure I have this. This is actually a pretty cool one. Next, we have the Mask of the Third Man for the Hunter. Okay, first off, this definitely looks really, really cool. Arc Blade attack uses less super energy. Okay, that's mid. Okay, so it uses less super energy, so you're going to have longer Arc Blade attacks. But honestly, I don't know. I feel kind of like less super energy, and that's it. That's it. But then the Titan one was just you get evade, so... But the evade is cool, so... I'm going to give the Titans the advantage over the Hunters in this one. I mean, yeah, it's nice. It uses less super energy, which is good. It depends on how much it is. That's the problem. You get so used to Warframe giving you detailed numbers that when you come to Destiny, you're like, okay, it uses less super energy. Like, for example, the Radon Flux, which is by far my favorite exotic in Destiny 2. I think my Hunter has still... I don't think I have ever removed the Radon Flux from my Hunter in Destiny 2. I think I still have the exact same Radon Flux from when it first came out. Okay, I might have upgraded it during like Gear 2.0. Okay, because that thing really extends your super. The Arc Strider, massive upgrade when you use the Radon Flux. Now, you could tell me, oh, you're behind. Yes, probably, but I liked it. So the Radon Flux is phenomenal. I remember unequipping it once and being blown away about how much shorter my super lasted. So it doesn't really make a difference because I don't even remember using the Mask of the Third Man. I definitely have it. But I tend to alternate between the Night Stalker with the stealth and Golden Gun for bosses, because Golden Gun with the Celestial Nighthawk does a lot of damage on the bosses. So let me know in the comments below if I'm being unfair to the Mask of the Third Man. It just feels kind of like, how much does it really make a difference? For the Warlocks, you have the Ram, which is the corpus is mocking and laughing at you. If you look at my picture, you can see a dude in the background. That is a corpus helmet. Everyone calls them like refrigerator heads. The guy in the background holding the weapon behind my dude is a corpus helmet. All right? The Ram... It's you have horns. The rule is, if your helmet is bigger than the corpus helmet, your helmet is too big. Basically, the maximum in size where you're on the verge of too big and is the corpus helmet. Once your helmet surpasses the corpus helmet in size, it's too big. Okay, and the only reason the corpus helmet gets a pass is because they have some kind of fancy HUD on the inside. Okay. So, and a lot of them are just, guards and stuff, so it's not like they're guardians, all right? They're not guardians. They still are surprisingly mobile and light on their feet, which is probably because they're genetically engineered. So the corpus aren't like just sitting around doing nothing. They are mobile. They jump pretty high, but they're not guardians. With massive horns on their head, I've never been a fan of that. I have this problem when your helmet is so bulky that you wonder if the person is top heavy. Okay? Increased armor. All Voidwalker melees trigger lifesteal on hit. All right. I hate to do this. Increased armor. All Voidwalker melees trigger lifesteal on hit. All right? I've never even played a Voidwalker as a Warlock. I've done the Arc and I've done the Solar because of self-res. But I will say this. You get number 1 Warlocks. You're in first place on this one. It pains me to do this, but this is probably the best exotic armor piece of the week. Number 2 is the Titans, and number 3 is the Hunters. I am sorry, Cade. I feel like a traitor as a Hunter main myself, but as ugly and bulky and all of the corpus are mocking you, Warlocks. Yes, I've heard it behind the scenes. The corpus do make fun of your oversized helmet. It's just too big, but it is impressively powerful. So I like it. I would even call it passable exotic. Okay? Yes, Minnie? You're not a warlock, Minnie. You're a cat. By default, that makes you a hunter. Okay? No. Cats are hunters. Okay? It's just how it is. I'm sorry, Minnie. Cats? Little house cats? Yeah. You guys are all hunters, alright? I know you want the ram, but no. No. Okay? Yeah, okay. Sorry, Minnie. That's just how it is. So, it's pretty cool. It's just too... Anyway. Then you have the usual other curios. You know, heavy ammo synths. You can never have enough heavy ammo synths. Pick up as many as possible. My goal is to eventually have this entire area heavy ammo synths. Except this. You cannot put your paper fortune in your vault. Which, by the way, yes, I still have the paper fortunes. Anybody else remember that? So mine is unexpectedly, many of your engrams will turn out to be motes of light, which is not a good thing, okay? Not a good thing. It means that when you turn in your engram, you get a mote of light instead of something cool. No, Minnie, that's not a good thing. No. See, I already have, where's my motes of light? 116. Motes of light are, anyway, that aside. Okay, so heavy ammo synths, 3 of coins. Okay, always constantly forget to use one of them, but yeah. Exotic shards. Anyway, motes of light, usual stuff. Anyway, pick up what you need. These are actually pretty cool. I've used it once to transform properties of exotic gear. Cool. Thank you for watching. Anyway, join my cause. Destiny 1 is only $20 on console. Let's try and make Destiny 1 bigger than Destiny 2. If for no other reason than to mess with the people at Bungie's heads. Just pause and think about it. Okay? Imagine this. Can you imagine if you're at Bungie, right? And you know the player numbers exactly. And there are more people playing Destiny 1 than Destiny 2. Completely mess with their heads. It would be hilarious. And then for them to have to report this to Sony, where this, like, the boss at Sony, the person they report is like, so, how are things going in Destiny 2? How are things going in Destiny? Should we keep the servers online for Destiny? And someone goes, yeah, about that. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yeah, there are more people playing Destiny 1 than Destiny 2. Can you just imagine the looks of shock on their faces when they see a higher player base for Destiny 1 than Destiny 2? Okay? Just say. We might even get a PC port of Destiny 1 then, which would be awesome. We need a PC port. 60 frames per second. Maybe add a couple quality of life improvements like fast travel. Don't change anything else, okay? What makes Destiny unique are the limitations it has. We do not want Destiny 2 moved into Destiny 1, okay? What makes Destiny 1 are a lot of the things that are a challenge, like the limitations on weapons, the need to actually unlock your abilities and weapons. Just a lot of the limitations to Destiny 1 are what make it uniquely challenging in its own way. It's a different style of gameplay than Destiny 2. It's very different. The gear in Destiny 1 is definitely cooler. The armor is definitely cooler. In some ways, it's not as flashy. In most cases, it's almost more like the flashy stuff stood out because of its uniqueness. It wasn't very often. I just remember before I head out, someone coming to me and telling me, can you believe they brought Taken Armor to Destiny 2? And I'm looking at him like, are you insane? We've had Taken Armor in Destiny 1 for ages. It's not anything new. Anyway, like I said, $20 on console, PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X. You get everything for $20. Definitely worth it. Maybe they'll even, like I said, remaster it. Sell it for $40. Remastered. Though knowing them, they'd sell it for $60 or $70. But still. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope to be on this weekend. I did pick up some Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering cards. Not very many, but I do have a few, which is awesome. because it's Final Fantasy. And I hope to see you in the tower. And comment. Answer my questions. I really want to know. I ask those questions because I want to know.